Hello, Brent Johnson here with Firewise Consultants. I want to take a quick second to let you know that our online training platform, firestoptraining.com, now has 3 curriculums that can help you obtain CEUs from the ICC. So take a look over at firestoptraining.com. Today's topic is a pretty big one with a lot of different potential issues that can occur. And our focus is how can we better prepare for this common issue? We get this phone call a lot where we have penetrations conflicting with rated joints. It can happen in numerous ways, but the most common one we see is at the head of wall, where we have very limited space where the ceiling and the floor are to squeak all these MEP trades through this area. And what happens is we have these penetrations that now conflict with the rated joints at the head of wall. There are very few listed systems to allow penetrations, and typically that penetration is in a flute or areas where there is no movement. The reason I want to bring up why this is such a big concern, and we get this one a lot, the challenge to resolve it is never as simple as the client would like. That is a few different reasons. Number one, the rated joint has a different test standard than the penetration does. Wall joints, fire rated joints at the head of wall like this, are actually have the option in their test standard in the building code to be tested for compression or extension, so the wall going up and down, so they can test how the fire stop works in that movement. Penetrations, by code, do not require a movement test to see how the pipe moves in and out or up or down. There is now an ASTM standard that manufacturers are just now starting to learn and play around with a little bit, but it is not in the code. So that means when we have a penetration in the joint, it now has to work along with those materials that usually aren't tested for penetrations and have not been tested for movement with this large opening. So to resolve that, many times repair of the wall itself or added framing or different fire stopping materials may be needed, which is not the simple, hey Brent, I'm just going to squirt some fire stop around that and stuff and spray my head of wall joint. They're all the same manufacturer. It's no problem. Leave me alone. Unfortunately, it's typically not that simple. So a couple things to remember here is if we see this condition occur where the sheetrock is not continuous on the top side of these penetrations, these large kind of U-shaped cutouts, doesn't matter what the penetration is, we need to raise a red flag. And this can be resolved in a few different ways. A big thing to remember is talk about no-fly zones early on your project. So where the top track can come in all different lengths. So remember, it's not a set rule here all throughout the project. Verifying your top track length and setting a distance from the bottom of that top track to the top of any penetration at a rated wall is going to help streamline and catch these clashes early on. We do a lot of 3D modeling reviews and clash detection and then try to utilize solutions around this, and sometimes we're stuck with it. But at least if we set that measurement, we can really pinpoint those problems early on. Additionally, try to select one manufacturer of product in these tight areas. Sometimes we see materials that are great in rated joints and great for movement, but don't manufacture a material to solve the penetration. They don't sell sealants or putties maybe. They are only for the rated joint. Additionally, don't always think that fire stop is going to be your resolution. In this picture here, we probably could repair the sheetrock to properly sheetrock around that penetration for a single penetration in a joint per 2 compliant listed systems, 2 different manufacturers, even 2 different installers. And another thing is, once we have this condition identified that it is in the head of wall and we're going to have a penetration in our head of wall joint, we need to pick one manufacturer and one installer. So it typically becomes the drywall or head of wall fire stopping specialty contractor. It's usually in their boat now. And this can become a pricing issue. So again, trying to pick one scope of work to resolve the matter, one manufacturer, one inspection document to start working with. So again, head of wall penetrations and penetrations of rated joints, there are very few listed systems, but there are some. If you want to ask more questions about this topic or have some ideas for future videos, please add it in the section below or feel free to reach out to me directly at Firewise Consultants. We look forward to hearing from you and thank you for your time.